Kathy Duva, the promoter of light heavyweight champion Sergey Kovalev, claims that she's going to make an offer to Yvonne Michel, the promoter of Artur Beterbiev, for Beterbiev to fight Kovalev in a voluntary defense on November 28th this year. Now, we're going to find out shortly how serious Kathy Duva is about that offer, because no sooner has she mentioned that in interviews with journalists shortly after Kovalev beat Mohammedi, no sooner has she said that Yvonne Michel has immediately leaped up and said, we'll take that fight. They want that fight. And I'll quote directly. First, I'll tell you what Kathy Duva said from this article on boxingscene.com. I'll leave a link to this article in the description below for you, so you can go read it for yourselves. Kathy Duva says, we're going to make an offer to Artur Beterbiev. That's like a monster fight over there in Russia. We're going to make Yvonne Michel an offer. I'll send in something on Monday probably. And Yvonne Michel immediately responded. He said, we are 100% behind that. Artur Beterbiev is now ranked number 2 by the IBF. With Mohammedi being knocked out, he was the number 1 and he'll be losing his spot next week. And we will receive a letter from the IBF for Beterbiev to fight for the mandatory position against whoever will have the guts to get in the ring with him. But if we have the opportunity to fight for the title directly, i.e. without being mandatory, without having to fight, fight an eliminator, this is something that we're more than happy about. But we have to have a fair offer for wherever. Russia, wherever, will be the place that Kathy Duva will choose. If we have to be on HBO, no problem. There's no issue. He goes on to say, just have an honest offer. No strings attached. No options and first and last from the network. Except we will agree to a rematch clause, because there is no problem giving him a rematch after Beterbiev knocks him out. If we can do it that way, we will, of course, abandon the route of trying to get the mandatory position and take the challenge. And again, he continues and says, there's no problem with HBO. Artur is in a different position than Stevenson. Stevenson is a champion. He has an association with a network in Showtime. And wherever he is, he demands a big purse. Artur is challenger and he understands the position of being a challenger. And when a challenger has an opportunity to fight against a champion, he takes it. All we want is an honest and fair offer. And we will also be honest, because we know that Kovalev is the champion and has 3 belts. We are not going to ask for the moon. It's a fight we want to have. It's a fight that Artur Beterbiev has wanted since he did his first pro fight. And he's ready anytime to do it. Let's just sit down. My phone will be on and we will agree to do the fight 100%. Okay, that is Yvonne Michel, the promoter of Artur Beterbiev. And just like I said, we'll see how serious Kathy Duva is about this, whether it was just a throwaway comment that she said in the spur of the moment in an interview to journalists, or whether she's actually serious. Because what you have to understand is Kathy Duva in Main Events is a very small promotional outfit. The only thing you could even suggest as a ticket seller or a cash cow under the Main Events banner is Sergey Kovalev. That's all they've got. They don't have anyone else. So if Kovalev were to lose to a Beterbiev, get knocked out or whatever, then Main Events is in serious trouble. They don't have anybody else. So will Kathy Duva be willing to risk all that in a no strings attached deal? Yes, they'll get a rematch clause. Yvonne Michel said you can have a rematch clause, but we don't want any promotional ties to Main Events in terms of strings attached. So you'll get your rematch clause and that's it. Will Kathy Duva be willing to do that and put Kovalev in that position of risk against Beterbiev? Even though it's a big fight in Russia, Kovalev is not going to gain any titles from that. It's not like him fighting Stevenson where he gets a WBC title. I don't think the Duva people, the Kovalev people, Main Events, I don't think they're going to agree to a Beterbiev fight. Unless they can get those strings that Yvonne Michel talked about. I just can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see Kathy Duva being in the position that she is with such little fighters agreeing to such a dangerous fight. I just can't see it. And Yvonne Michel talked about the fact that it's different than the Stevenson situation. Well, actually, Stevenson was willing to fight on HBO as well. Stevenson's and his representative said if they lose the purse bid, they'll happily fight on HBO. But the problem is they were not going to lose that purse bid because Al Heyman has got a hell of a lot more financial clout than Main Events. But had Cafe Duva came up with money and they were in a purse bid situation, then, you know, Stevenson would have been obligated to fight, you know, Kovalev on HBO. And also with the Beterbiev-Kovalev fight, that would be a voluntary defense for Sergey Kovalev, which means there'd be no purse bid. As it stands at the moment, it will be a voluntary defense because, as Yvonne Michelle said, Beterbiev will now be ranked #1 and he'll have to fight an eliminator to get a mandatory position to fight Kovalev. But they're willing to forfeit that mandatory position and forget about it and just go straight for a Kovalev title shot. Okay, and in that situation, when it's a voluntary defense for Kovalev, there'll be no purse bid. So there'll be no danger of the fight going to purse bid like with the Stevenson situation. There'll be no danger of the fight going to a purse bid and the Beterbiev people winning and the fight happening on a different network. There's no danger of that happening. So basically, the team Beterbiev are giving this fight to Kovalev on a silver platter and say, fine, we'll do it on HBO. Just having no strings attached offer and we'll do this. We'll see if Cafe Duva's serious. Exciting times. Exciting times. Drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel about this latest development. It's Hatman, I'm out.